Ross Tucker, CBS Sports, Westwood One. He's an analyst. He's the host of Ross Tucker Football Podcast. He'll be in the booth tonight for the Cowboys and the Eagles, and then on CBS TV, Cardinals and the Saints coming up this weekend. All right. You got a hot take for me, NFC?
I can give you one. I mean, I always get nervous about these because then you're going to put it on social media and then it's like, oh my gosh, he thinks that, and I get ripped like Seton's going to for having Flacco and the Browns going to the playoffs. That's hilarious. You know what? I don't know. I'll be curious to hear how hot you guys think this is. Okay. But I think a 6-11 team from a year ago in the NFC is going to go to the Super Bowl.
The Niners?
For those of you not paying attention, it's the San Francisco 49ers, who somehow not only have the easiest schedule this year, they have the easiest strength of schedule in the last 10 years. And oh, by the way, you know, they had a lot of underlying statistics that weren't that bad last year in terms of yards per play, all those things. And they did it without McCaffrey, without Trent Williams. They were banged up on defense. I believe in their core, guys like Fred Warner and Juszczyk and Kittle. I think the Niners bounce back in a major way. Not the Eagles, not the Packers. I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I have Christian McCaffrey as the offensive player of the year. So I'm with you on the Niners being sneaky good this year. But,
yeah.
Your hot take in the AFC.
I got two I like in the AFC. I don't know how scorching you think either one is. The first one is not quite Joe Flacco Browns level, but I'll take Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, and the Colts to make the playoffs, maybe even win that division in the AFC South. Saves Shane Steichen's job, saves Chris Ballard's job, and people have to think long and hard about Daniel Jones' tenure with the Giants after he leads the Colts to the playoffs. The other one, though, I really like is that I think we all assume the AFC, it's going to be the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs, maybe Burrow and the Bengals. I think there's a pretty good chance the AFC Championship game includes Sean Payton, Bo Nix, and the Denver Broncos. Top 5 defense, top 5 offensive line. The question is whether or not Bo Nix is good enough to win multiple playoff games against MVP caliber guys like Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, whatever, Lamar. But I'm going to say that they can do it and that the Broncos are the surprise team in the AFC Championship game.
All right. Those are respectable. You know, and the 49er take that they go to the Super Bowl, that's not crazy.
No, those are like those are my warm takes.
Okay.
You know, like they're not scorching hot that I'm going to get ripped for them, but they're not like obvious either. They're warm enough that they're passable for this segment.
Yeah, it's like you're taking cookies out of the oven and you don't need an oven mitt for them. That's sort of what your takes are. And I almost picked the Colts with Danny Dimes that he would have a resurgence and they would make the playoffs. I decided to make it hotter and say that the Titans were going to make the playoffs. Yeah, and you know who's getting a lot of love? The Patriots. Like there's a lot of people who believe Mike Vrabel is going to have a playoff team this year. What do you think?
I think they're getting a little too much love.
Okay.
I mean, I did a couple of their games last year on TV. Did people watch the Patriots play football last year? I mean, they were bad. And I would agree that Mayo was not a good coach, and I'm sure Vrabel is significantly better. And it's wild to see the Kraft family spend the money that they spent. I think they're sick and tired of losing, and they want to at least get back to respectability. By the way, how crazy is it, Dan? I love stuff like this. The highest paid player in New England Patriots franchise history is Milton Williams. Okay? Milton Williams was not even really a starter for the Eagles last year. He started a bunch of games, but he's one of the 3 starting D tackles that the Eagles rotated through. In the Patriots spending spree, they made him think about the guys that have played for like Tom Brady and all these guys and Milton Williams. That's a good trivia question up there in New England for you guys.
Yeah, very good. Ross Tucker, CBS Sports, Westwood 1. He'll be doing tonight's game with Kevin Harlan. And it'll sound a little bit like this tonight.
This is the NBA on TNT, but it'll be football.
Thank you, Todd. And then on Sunday, he'll have the Cardinals and the Saints. I saw where Robert Kraft commented on Belichick getting a statue, and Tommy, of course, is going to get a statue. Would you combine the statue with Brady and Belichick in New England?
No, I wouldn't. And, I think Brady already got one, or I think it's already up.
Oh, that's right.
Or it's going to be soon. They better put the Belichick one up soon. I can't remember very many guys that have done more to diminish reputation over the last 5 years than Belichick. The crazy thing is, if you think about it, okay, I can't remember what year it was, Dan, but like Derek Carr had signed a deal for $30 million a year with the Raiders, and Brady said, listen, I'll make less than guys, but this is ridiculous. Brady was making like 19. So he just wanted 25, right? Like even less than Derek Carr. Dan, they gave him $5 million in incentives, which was incredibly insulting. You'll never convince me that that wasn't the exact moment that he said, I'm out of here. It was Belichick's idea. See, we would have never known, okay, that Brady could do it without Belichick unless Belichick moved on from him like he did. So that was bad move number one. That led, obviously, to the Patriots being a disaster the last couple of years. Then, however you feel about his personal life, you can feel. And then, now with the North Carolina the other night and not being able to get jobs from any of these NFL teams 2 years in a row, it's not a good look for a guy that was, in most people's opinion, the greatest coach of all time. It feels like every year they're taking another swipe at that thing. They better put the statue up soon.
Yeah, I forgot about Brady's statue where his head is really small, but the rest of the statue is large there. You were in New England for a little while with Belichick. I just don't think that personality transfers to the college kids. And you got to go in there and you got to be in living rooms with them, and you got to have, an extra slice of pie, and you got to be booster meat, like all the things that Bill hates doing. He wants to be in the lab. Well, you can only be in the lab so long. You got to be out there front and center representing your program. And I didn't think they were going to get embarrassed like they did. But I don't think this is oh my gosh, he's going to show everybody he can coach no matter where.
Well, a couple things. Number one, I had 9 head coaches in the NFL. Belichick's fantastic. Schematically, unbelievably impressive. The scheme he would come up with week to week. Best coach I was ever around in terms of telling you the legit 3 keys to the game, and us knowing if we did those 3 things, we would win, and it happened almost all the time.
Yeah, but he didn't go into your family's house and recruit you and try to charm your mom. He just said, who do we have? All right, Ross Tucker. All right, Ross.
Well, that's the thing. He can turn the charm on when he has to, but to your point, he doesn't want to, and it's not his natural disposition, right? So I think in general in life, you're usually set up for success when you can just be your normal. Like you guys know, when I come on with you, or when I call, like this is, when I have dinner with Paul, like this is just how I am, right? Like this is how I am. Belichick is being forced to act in a way that's not natural, that's not him. I'm a little surprised he did it. I think, they'll be better, I guess, over the course of the year. But that was a big, Michael Jordan and Lawrence Taylor up there, maybe the best alumni duo I've ever seen. It's nationally televised. ESPN, the mothership, they're all there. And that was about as embarrassing as it can get.
Yeah, I don't know how much better it gets because you bring in 70 players, and like he's the king of adjustments. They didn't make adjustments. In the second half, the adjustment was, oh my gosh, how badly are we going to lose? Not we're going to lose. That was what was probably the most surprising. And he's not going to coach in the NFL again. There's no owner who's going to say, you know what, let's bring in Bill. He can solve all of this, because now he's bringing in a whole lot more than just a great resume. I don't see that happening.
Well, and think about it too, Dan. These guys, like these high school kids, every year removed, they were 7 and 8, years old when Brady was winning Super Bowls with Belichick. The shine is wearing off with every passing year. I think it's going to probably get harder for him, not easier.
All right, your NFC pick, are you staying with the 49ers? That was a hot take selection, but what is your real take, the reasonable take in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl?
You know what? I think there's 3 teams I can see doing it right now. I think it's the Eagles, the Packers, now that they have Micah Parsons, which I still can't believe the Cowboys made that trade. Unbelievable on so many levels. I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers went at all, but I'll go with the Niners. I'll stick with it because of that schedule, because I think this is probably the last run they have in them with this group of guys, this core. So they find a way. It feels like Kyle Shanahan has like bad year, Super Bowl, bad year, Super Bowl. I think they're going to get back to Super Bowl. So I'll stick with the 49ers take.
Okay, your AFC pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys know I wish so badly that I could give you fresh blood. I would love a Bills Detroit Lions Super Bowl for those players, for those fans. But when people ask me like you, I'm going to give you, what I think is most likely. I think it's the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs will win as many games this year, because I don't think they'll continue to win every one-score game ever. That luck will run out. But I think they're going to be better. I mean, I've heard from multiple people, this is the best Kelsey's looked in a couple years. They're going to have the whole second half of the year, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice on the field at the same time. Mahomes, super motivated. They're definitely better at left tackle with that rookie Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. I think the Chiefs, I know people are getting Chiefs fatigue. I think the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl again.
I went on a rant to start the show, maybe called a hot take, and we shouldn't have a divisional game, the Chiefs and Chargers, out of the country. We just, they can play, but not the first week. Like, I just don't think it's fair to the teams, the fan base, but, I know this is going to continue to happen here. Your thoughts on having a game out of the country of this magnitude, or any game to start the year that we're going to be in another country?
I don't mind the first game of the year aspect of it. What bothers me is if you're the Chargers and you're trying to win the division, to lose a home game to Brazil. Now, in fairness, if you've ever seen the Chargers host the Chiefs, half the fans are Chiefs fans, right? Yeah. Like, the Chargers are still trying to find their way in LA. Half the stadium is Chiefs fans anyway, but it's still a home game. You don't have to travel. You're in your own locker room and stadium. You still have some fans there. To give up a division game, that's the part that bothers me, is not the week one aspect of it. It's the losing a home game. That home game you lose, in my mind, should be a team in the other conference, one of the crossover games.
Before I let you go, I brought up, we're going to get to 18 games. The question is not if, but when. But if you're part of the Players Association, I suggested 4 roster spots, extra roster spots for each team. If for an 18-game season, ask that. Do you want to add to that? What would you want as a player if you're going to 18 games with getting an extra paycheck, but what else?
Yeah, so I love the roster spot idea, Dan. And so the owners will push back on that because those roster spots lead to all the benefits, right?
Yeah.
So your health savings account, your severance, your pension, your annuity, your 401k. I mean, there's a lot of benefits tied into that. And so they will fight that, but I think that's a worthwhile fight. I really do. There's only 2 things that matter, right? trying to get a greater percentage of the pie. So whatever it is, 48.5%. Try to get that to 49 or 49.5%. You know what? You want 18th game? Let's do 50-50. I don't know that that'll happen, but I do like your roster spot idea because the other thing is there's 16 guys on practice squads now. Practice squad year does not count for your benefits. So there's something there too where maybe if you have 2 practice squad years, it counts for your benefits as well, because that makes a big difference. I mean, I look all the time at what my 401k is, my annuity, what my pension will be, which I can take, by the way, as early as 55. That makes a big difference. I mean, there's guys that hang on those last few years. I remember having a veteran long snapper when I was a rookie. He said, I would just play for the benefits at this point. I don't even need my salary. I just want to keep stacking all those benefits. So I think you're on the right track, Dan, with the roster spot thing. Plus, that is music to the ears of the vast majority of the guys that are going to vote on that CBA. A lot of those guys are bubble guys. They want those extra roster spots to keep this thing going.
Have fun tonight. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Dan. I will.
Ross Tucker Football Podcast. He'll be on the call with Kevin Harlan on Westwood 1 tonight. And then he'll be on CBS TV on Sunday, Cardinals and the Saints.